Welcome to the Business Spotlight series. My name is Kay Kote, and I am your podcast host here on the show today. And we have with us Michael Craig, owner and CEO of Creature Coffee. He's going to be sharing about his business, his journey to business ownership, challenges, and best practices that he's learned on his way. Today, we're going to be sharing all about that. And again, if this is your first time on our channel, be sure to like and subscribe to get notifications when we drop episodes like this. Welcome, Michael. It is so great to have you here. Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks so much. Looking forward to it.
Yes. Well, let's dive in. Tell me a little bit about yourself and a little bit about Creature Coffee.
Yeah, I'm Michael. I started Creature Coffee about 6 years ago, really. It's 100% bootstrapped. It's a specialty coffee company based in Austin. We've got offices in Austin and Seattle now. We specialize in high quality, specialty grade coffee. And we specialize in espresso catering and roasting our own coffee.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm a big drinker of coffee, so I'm excited for this conversation. And let's kind of dive in. What's your why? What got you into coffee?
I just love the industry. In general, I kind of found myself as a washed up backpacker in my mid 30s with a resume of ridiculous jobs that some of them I'd excelled at and some of them I hadn't. And really, I just didn't know where I was in life. So when I first landed in America, I was massively into coffee. I kind of saw it as my like geeky, nerdy passion that really just transpired into a business because I love that industry. I love the story. I love the fact that every cup of coffee we enjoy has been touched by 400 people somewhere along the line. It's come halfway around the world. And just that story of from seed to sip just captivated me to start off with. And I've been kind of geeking out on it. And I feel like even when I pass away, I'm still not going to know everything about that journey or everything about coffee. So I feel like it's something that's inspired me, and also it's something that I'm just continually going to learn.
Oh, definitely. It's so cool when you can bring that passion, like that purpose into the thing you geek out about. So I think that's so much fun. Well, thank you for sharing about that. Now I'd love to dive into kind of what makes Creature Coffee unique. What is setting you apart in the industry currently?
Yeah, I mean that's tough, right? Because I mean, if you're looking at the coffee industry in general, it's massive, and there's different parts of the coffee industry. So what we do is specialty coffee, and when I say that, I don't mean a cappuccino, I don't mean a latte. It's the type of coffee. So for people out there that are not aware of what that term is, specialty coffee is graded in a test, whether that's smell or whether it's taste, or whether it's a sensory test that is standardized. And if you get an 80% or 80 out of 100 plus, it is deemed as specialty. Now that is only 3% of coffee that is grown in the world. So it is the higher end of coffee. It does taste better, but also the farmers and everyone along those lines are getting paid considerably more than fair trade prices for it. So it's a feel good part of the coffee industry, and we kind of sit within that specialty coffee industry. But I think one thing that makes us super unique is the branding. Sometimes really high end coffee can get a bit serious, can get a bit snobby, a bit snooty. So we try to be bright and colorful and approachable. So instead of being like a wine tasting session where we're giving tasting notes and elevation of coffee and completely baffling people, we try to be kind of on a level, fun and informative. So hopefully if you check out our website, check out anything that we do, it's bright, it's colorful, it's fun. Yes, it is high quality, but it's also an inclusive and bright and fun company. So
Well, that excites me a lot too, especially being a coffee brand to have such a good energy for something that energizes people. I think that's really cool.
love
So
that.
now looking at your customer base, if I was your ideal customer and walked through your doors, like how would I know I was a good fit for you?
Yeah, good point. Really as well, we don't have a coffee shop, so no customers really kind of walk into us. They find us online and they book our coffee carts for their
Mhm.
for their events. So really, when you're asking how people would find us. Yeah, really, it's just kind of finding us online, and people put on events for a number of reasons, whether that's an office appreciation or whether it's a huge expo and so on. So really, they're wanting to treat their guests, treat their clients, or treat someone to amazing coffee experience, and that's why people look for us.
Definitely. So you're more of a business to business coffee, I guess not even coffee shop, but coffee company rather than a business to consumer.
I would say, and sometimes I get it mixed up because there's two sides to what Creature Coffee does. We have that roasting side, and then we have the catering side. And the catering side, like, is 95% business to business. So, whether it's HEB, Central Market, Whole Foods, whether it's Apple, Dell, Microsoft, we go into all of those corporate businesses. Or we work for Amazon on large scale expos, and we put on like coffee experiences. The other 5% are the everyday people that get married and want us for their wedding. Whereas if you flip side that and look at the roasting side, where we're actually selling products and we're actually selling retail, some of them are, again, we're selling into grocery stores, into boutique coffee shops, but we're also selling direct online as well. So and that's more of an even 50-50 split.
Okay. Well, thank you for like kind of painting the picture for what the business does. And, it sounds like you've got a lot of fun things cooking over there. So I would like to dive into your team and what your team looks like. Uh, how many team members do you currently have, or are you growing? What's that look like for you?
Yeah, good question. So on the roasting side, we're relatively small, and on the catering side as well, we have a core management team, but we have a huge pool of baristas, and they're contract baristas, so they come on and work with us seasonally. At the moment, um, we have a core, 10 group of employees, full-time employees with full benefits. And then we have a core group of 50 to 60 baristas that are currently out doing events, working events in Seattle and in Austin. And that kind of shrinks during the summer, and then it explodes again as we get into busy season in September.
Definitely. Now, you mentioned you're outside of Austin, you're also in Seattle. How did that expansion happen? And are you looking to expand to other cities?
Yeah, definitely. And really, in Austin, it's taken us a few years to go from bootstrapped, borrowing everyone's equipment, to borrowing a coffee cart to put on event, and now having 12 espresso bars. So really, we had a great management team and a great, wonderful team that helped us grow, doubling year in, year out, and just kind of getting to the point of where we created a template, and we're like, hey, look, this is really successful. People are really enjoying this. We're having real success with doing ABC. At some point, we got to a comfortable spot where we're like, hey, this is how management looks. This is how a barista looks. This is how our carts look. And we've got a feel, we've got a vibe, and it's working and it's successful. It's like, how can we replicate that again? And then we put that plan into action with Seattle. And so far it's going to plan, which is great. We've only been there for 3 months, and already we're racing towards the green. So really for us is we're going to excel Seattle right into 2025, and then we're going to look at another city. We've got a couple of ideas, but we haven't done anything yet. And really, it's like we're going to keep that growth organic. We don't have any big investors telling us what to do or hitting any milestones, so we're going to do it as quickly as is possible without being painful. So we're hopefully going to grow into another city next year, and hopefully another city after that as well.
Definitely. Well, I'm super excited for you. And I'd like to dive into what is like one of the biggest challenges you've faced with expanding, or even just, it could be along your journey of even the startup, but really into the expanding.
Yeah, expanding. I mean, there's so many challenges. You kind of go from wearing all the hats and doing all the jobs to hiring people and training and trusting them to be able to do their part. And I think that's the biggest challenge is trying to keep quality and keep a quality product that stays the same. Once you've got that thing that people love, sometimes as you grow and expand, that quality can be lost sometimes. So I think that's the main challenge on that side. But on the flip side as well, like for me, it was how do I learn how do I learn to be a big company? How do I grow up? How do I learn not to be a barista? How do I stop being the operator and become an owner? And that's what I'm in the middle of that process at the moment, of learning to get out of the day-to-day operations side of things and step into that ownership role where I can start really driving the business forward. And that's a huge challenge for me. And I'm in the middle of that challenge right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What is one thing that you personally face like with that? Because I know many business owners may be in that same position you're in, whether they're just starting up or they're in an expansion. What's like something you've learned through all of this and overcoming one of those challenges?
Yeah. I mean, I've always been in the process of like, I don't know everything. I'm constantly learning, and I'm still in that process now. And I still get those days where I'm overwhelmed, where there's too much on my plate, and I always kind of yeah, there's not enough hours in the day to do everything. And I think every business owner goes through that. And however much I feel like I'm on top of things and I get to that next level, I still feel like there's so much for me to improve.
Mm.
And that's, and I don't know when that ever stops. But yeah.
Oh, it's just so cool to hear your story and how you're overcoming things and continuing to grow into what you're doing. And as a leader, I'd like to know, what is your leadership style, working with your staff, your baristas, like how do you like to lead?
Yeah, I like to be inclusive. I like everyone to have a good time. I demand quality. I want everyone to be on time. I want everything to be in a certain way. And I think with Creature Coffee, we've got a really good culture of being inclusive. Large LGBTQ community work for us. We're very much learning and growing together. So events, especially on the corporate event side of things, is fast paced. Mistakes can happen, but we're always in that mindset of like, hey, look, whatever challenges we have, we can overcome them. We can make them happen. So, we have our values up on the walls in the warehouses, in the offices, and we kind of live by those. So we do want to have fun, but we want to be professional, and we want to make sure that we are the best at what we do. So, you know, I think, continually learning to grow, continually evolving, continually getting better. I, yeah, we always want to do that, but we want to do that with a smile on our face, and we want to do that in a positive way as well. Yeah, and I don't know. Hopefully people respond to that, but we keep growing. Recruiting has become progressively easier for us. So hopefully that management style is, that positive energy is going into the other managers that are now managing the baristas and our team as well. So
Oh, definitely. I always am a firm believer of like what you put out into the world is what you get back. And when you put out that kind of an optimism and a excellence, like strive for excellence, yeah, you're going to attract that. I think that's so cool. Thank you for sharing that. This has been such a fun conversation, and I'd like to dive into a fun 4 question part of the podcast called the rapid fire questions.
all right, hit
Uh,
me.
where you answer very top of mind. So, are you ready for some rapid fire?
Let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. What is a key to success for you?
Key to success for me is showing up and continuing to learn, continuing to grow.
Mm, definitely. What is a piece of advice you have for other business owners?
Start as soon as you possibly can, and then start before that.
I like that. That's a great piece of advice. What is a book or a piece of content, could be a podcast, anything that you've taken in most recently?
I use Blinkist, which I must devour about, on a good week, 5 to 10 different titles, and I share this with my team. And it's just short, condensed versions of self-help books. So currently, we're working on time management, on how to be a manager, and I share those with the team. We go through them, and it's basically reading a book within 15 to 20 minutes. So you get all of the gems really, really quickly, and you don't have to kind of read through the entire book. So we kind of hit those whenever any of our management needs some help. I'm like, hey, read this, read that. You got 20 minutes? Let's go for it. So yeah, don't particularly have a book, but Blinkist, highly recommend.
I just wrote that down because I think that's like, it's almost like Cliff Notes, but for CEOs.
Yeah, yeah. It's like we don't have the time. I don't have the time to sit down and read books anymore. I'm gonna put my hands up. Like I'd love to read books, but it's probably been 6, 7 years since I've read a book from cover to cover.
Oh, well, I definitely put that down. That's going to be a good tool. And the final question in our rapid fire is if you could wave a magic wand and rapidly improve one aspect of your business, what would it be?
Rapidly improve one side of the business. Um, I would say the financial management side, as we're growing. That would be amazing, to piece that together and be a little bit more structured. Yeah.
That's a good one too. Well, thank you for answering those rapid fires. I'd love to connect our audience with you. How can people connect with Creature Coffee?
Yeah, absolutely. Website, creaturecoffee.co.co. You can check us out on Instagram and on Facebook as well. We're on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, Michael Craig. But yeah, check us out. If you need an espresso bar or you're just looking for really good quality coffee, give us a shout.
Definitely got to try your coffee. Sounds amazing. Well, thank you, Michael, for being on the show for our final question for today. What is most inspiring to you today?
What's the most inspiring thing for me today? Really is my barista team. They get out of bed every day. That some of them are getting up at 3 or 4 o'clock every morning, getting in the van and taking coffee out to all sorts of people, all sorts of clients all across Seattle and Austin. So that's my biggest inspiration.
Well, again, thank you so much, Michael. It has been such a joy to have you on the Business Spotlight. Thanks again for being on the show.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thank you so much.